8 toxic habits you should quit right away. Toxic is a very common word. The word that we always use to describe people. It used to describe things, but now we don't know anymore. It can be things, or it can be a kind of person. Do you know people who are toxic or people who have toxic traits? Our topic's going to be interesting today. For some people, toxicity is making them feel popular. It's also their way of getting other people's attention. Being toxic is not a good trend, but a lot of people are following it. When I say a lot, it's really a lot. People who are toxic are a big red flag. They're not good for our mental health, so we have to try to stay away from them. But the question is, what if you are the one who's toxic? Or what if you have a toxic trait and habits? Continue watching to find out. But before that, don't forget to subscribe. So without further ado, number 1, comparing yourself to someone else. When we were younger, our parents or teachers may have compared us with other kids. They might have had the intention of trying to help us get better in certain aspects of our lives. But what happened most times is that this kind of comparison just made us feel worse. We carry the notion that we're not good enough. Focus on how far you've come and stop looking down on yourself and continue to improve yourself. Number 2, getting little sleep. We tend to overlook how important sleep is. We sacrifice a good night's sleep because we have to stay up late to study or finish something for work. The thing about not getting enough rest is that the hours you spend awake pile up, and like any other debt, it'll have to be paid at some point. Sleeping less interferes with your body's ability to heal and recuperate. Your immune system suffers as a result, and this doesn't just affect our physical body, but our mind as well. Number 3, focusing on the negative. There are 2 ways you could react to any situation. You can sulk and complain about how life is so unfair, or you could look at what actually works and put your energy towards making it better. Thinking negatively can do some serious damage to our psyche and increase the risk of mental health-related issues. Thinking about the negative has the potential to reduce your motivation and create feelings of helplessness, and this leads to stress and in some cases, depression. Other consequences of having negative thoughts include limited thinking, where you continuously tell yourself you can't do something to the extent that you actually believe it. You also become a perfectionist where nothing you do is ever good enough. Life is perfect, but choosing to see the good in it makes life a little more worth living. Number 4, holding on to the past. One way or another, our past is responsible for making us who we are today, but we don't necessarily have to keep holding on to it. This sort of habit just leaves you feeling disoriented and miserable. An old Arab proverb says, "You should write the bad things that happen to you in the sand so that they are easily swept from your mind." But most of us tend to engrave them in marble, allowing these painful memories to be etched in our minds. We're constantly carrying around our mistakes, our failures, our hurts, and disappointments. But the only way to live in the present and plan well for the future is to learn how to let them go. Number 5, procrastinating. We've all heard the saying, what you can do tomorrow, do today, and what you can do today, do it now. You might have a valid reason for postponing something that you were meant to do now to a later time, but the only real reasons why you should fail to accomplish a particular task would be is that you aren't ready to do it. You're a perfectionist and want to wait for the right moment or you're just plain lazy. The question to ask yourself is, what is it that you're so busy doing that you can't do what you initially planned? Number 6. Being lazy. Keeping time is one skill that you shouldn't lack, and it's not just about showing up on time. It also says a lot about the kind of person you are when you have a meeting or appointment scheduled and you arrive as agreed. It shows you value the other person's time. Number 7. Staying in toxic relationships. Toxic and abusive relationships are really hard to understand. Trying to explain to someone why they should leave the relationship, especially when it's so clear that such a relationship isn't good for their physical, emotional, and mental well-being, can be hard. There's a number of reasons why someone may stay in a toxic relationship. Relationships that are toxic are linked to a psychological process known as idealization. This is the concept or idea of the ideal or perfect partner, and this is usually rooted in your unconscious or semi-conscious desires that have been influenced by culture and biology. Number 8. Overeating. It's becoming a major issue because of all the damage it does to your health. Not being in touch with your body's natural hunger and satisfaction signals can result in chronic overeating and the addition of extra pounds, which will likely lead to diabetes, heart disease, and other chronic diseases. But if you're determined, you can change your eating habits and get to a much healthier and manageable weight. This can be done by paying attention to your hunger signals and swapping your unhealthy snacks for more healthy and nutritious ones. This boosts nutrition, puts a damper on cravings, and help you lose the extra pounds. When it comes to alcohol, a glass or two once in a while isn't so bad, but overindulging has serious effects on your health. Excessive alcohol consumption is linked to liver damage, cancer, and high blood pressure. But the moment you cut back, your digestion becomes so much better and you'll feel better as well. Your blood sugar levels become steadier and even your brain functions better. For me, the last one is the hardest part out of these 8 toxic habits. Because I love food. I mean, who doesn't? Anyway, relate much? If you do, kindly click that subscribe button and like this video. We may have toxic habits, but it's never too late to change them. You got this. God bless. Finance Boss is here to support you. Peace.